My name is Aga Samitowska. I'm based in Warsaw. It's my first time in California. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm really pleased to be here. And yeah, I'm really happy to be sharing stage with these amazing people and Turo, who is on his way, running. Yay!
One to the hills.
What an entrance.
What an entrance.
Exactly. Welcome. Is there a microphone for Turo? Yeah. To give you a little bit of background by myself, I've been in music business for over a decade now, working for an independent record label called Kayaks. I ran and started their digital distribution. I worked as a music manager with major Polish artists, and have always been really attracted to innovation, new tech, numbers, math, finance, and all the boring and difficult to understand stuff. So I landed on blockchain somehow in 2016. And fast forward, I work for a VC in San Francisco, and now I'm a Web3 consultant consulting for startups and music industry. So yeah, again, very happy to share the stage with these amazing people, some of the most active in the music tech scene in Europe. If you could briefly introduce yourself for those who weren't here yesterday, I guess.
Hello everyone, my name is Turo Pekari. I'm based in Helsinki, Finland, and I work as the Innovation and Business Development Executive at Music Finland, the export office for the Finnish music industry, and also one of the founding partners of Music Tech Europe.
Hi, my name is Matthias Strobel. I'm from Germany, I live in Berlin. I founded Music Tech Germany in 2017 and I'm running it.
Hello, my name is Anna Zo. I'm operations manager at a company based in Milan called Music Innovation Hub. I'm co-directing the Line Check Music Meeting and Showcase Festival, always in Milan. And I will be president of the Association Music Tech Europe, which we are going to talk about.
Hello everyone, I'm Ivan from France. I'm leading the ecosystem relation at Utopia Music, a Swiss-based company, music tech company, and I'm also, as you can guess from my accent, part of the Music Tech French community, co-founder of Music Tech France, and I used to be co-founder of Music Tech Europe as well. I'm glad to be here today.
Yeah, really cool. So let's kick off our dive into music tech in Europe scene with a question about Music Tech Europe and Music Tech Europe Academy that I'm directing to Anna. So if you could walk us through some main pillars and like what do you aim to build in Europe scene?
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I'm going to try to explain both projects and then link with the colleagues with the Music Tech Europe. So Music Tech Europe Academy is a European project funded by the European Commission under the Creative Europe programs, the cooperation program. We started that back in 2021 with a pilot project from Music Moves Europe, and then we are continuing it, starting from this year for the next 3 years. It's going to be an acceleration program for music tech startups coming from Europe. As Music Innovation Hub, we are the leader of the consortium organizing the project, but we are working with the other 4 partners. One is Barcelona Music Tech Hub, which is also part of Music Tech Europe Network, as well as Meso events based in Greece. And we are also working with a tech accelerator called Technoport, based in Luxembourg, which you might know, and Media Deals, which is a German hub for cultural and creative investors. The program is going to start in September. We are going to launch our first call for applications in September, and it's going to kick off every year at Line Check, which is a music conference in Milano. It's going to run as an online acceleration program for 4 months, and then end up every year at a different European event. Next year is going to be at Athens Music Week. the following year is going to be at Sonar, and the following year we will see where the innovation will take us. It's a project that is based upon three main pillars. One is, of course, music ecosystem, the other one is technology, and the other one is finance. We are aiming with this project at supporting music tech startups to connect them with the music ecosystem, to help them to have access to different kind of finance, public and private, and also to foster entrepreneurship and innovation also in the southern part of Europe, because like we're really working together with Italy, Spain, and Greece to make the music tech and the innovation ecosystem as diverse and inclusive as possible. So that's going to be a big part of Music Tech Europe Academy as well. That's about the Academy. Now I'm switching to Music Tech Europe, which is actually, just to make a concrete difference, it's not a EU-funded project, it's a spontaneous, it's a spontaneous initiative that we've been launching a few years ago, together with 9 members. We're currently 9 members. Some of them are here, so we are Music Innovation Hub, Music Tech Germany, Music Tech Finland, Music Tech France, Music Tech Norway, Music Tech Sweden, Wally for Music Tech, of course, and then Barcelona Music Tech Hub and Meso events in Greece. So now we are covering 9 member states, and we are in the process of constituting formally the association, which is going to be a non-profit Belgian association that really aims at connecting the organization and association that are working nationally in the music tech space. So the idea is really like, as we are all doing amazing stuff in this space, is to connect and share what is already been done and what is already there in terms of resources and knowledge. So for instance, like we really want to map the music tech ecosystem and see what's going on in each market in terms of startups that are there, investment opportunities, market size, events, spaces, people. So we really want to gather this information and put them together, and also not to replicate the activities that are already done, but fill the gaps that we see, also to respond to actual needs from the music ecosystem through the development of activities. One example, for instance, is like what we already done in 2020, at the beginning of the pandemics. We organized, again, spontaneously a pan-European hackathon to tackle the live streaming issue that was a pretty big issue when pandemics kicked. And we gathered more than 400 applications from more than 39 countries. There was like a very, again, spontaneous initiative, and we are planning, and it was a very actually successful case, which we definitely want to develop more together with other music sector players. So yes, the idea is really not to create a different layer of lobbying or trade association, but it is really to work together with the trade association and organizations and policymakers that is already there to help them, support them through the innovation element. And of course, if any countries also wants to develop a new music tech association, a new national music tech association, that's really what we're aiming to support as well. Yes.
Amazing, wow.
And maybe I should mention, just if you want more information, musictecheuropeacademy.eu and musictecheurope.org if you want to check out more info. We are on LinkedIn, Instagram, everything. So
we should have had like a big QR code.
It's true, but everyone already had it. So like the second day, people is bored with QR.
And just one more thing, if you live in a country and you are active in music tech and you live in a country that's not part of Music Tech Europe yet, but you want to start an association and connect the dots in your country, please contact us, because at the end the goal is obviously to get every European country to have a music tech association to do all the things that Anna just said.
Exactly, and helping also you to tech is the best form and format, because each of us, we have potentially different approach. Yeah. So it's also about helping you to frame the best approach in your country, in your ecosystem, and to make it work properly.
Okay. So as we stumbled upon education, Ivan, I'm really curious about your take. I know you have some interesting insights on the relationship between education and entrepreneurship. Could you elaborate on that?
Yes, we're going to talk about it later this afternoon in specifics with Emilia over there. And music education, the initiative done by Music Tech Europe Academy is already a great example. The insights here, I can give it from two perspectives, what we do at Music Tech France and what I also experience at Utopia as a company. The point is, I think in many conversations I can be involved in, there is a big gap. We know the value gap, we know many other gaps, but the knowledge gap is one of them, and especially the understanding from
talk just about music tech. There's some strange connotations with that word in general, and I really feel that we should try to include music tech into the bigger scene, just to talk about music business in general, and that's been a very problematic thing for the traditional music industry to understand, because most of the new potential business is in some way related to emerging technologies, and we should just accept that it's a part of the big business. And as we were discussing in many panels and sessions yesterday, music tech is not a very sexy thing for investors at the moment, but still there are really cool new things happening in Europe, and I would say that in Finland some of the most exciting things related to music are not just solely music tech, but they are more like creative tech. So we have companies like Varjo, the best VR glasses in the world from Finland, forget Apple, and Zoan, a hyper-realistic metaverse company, and of course Neural DSP, Felix is here, the biggest music tech company in Finland, more than 100 people working in Helsinki building virtual guitar plugins. So there's a lot of things happening, but they are not purely music tech, but all of them can be applied to music and music businesses.
Right. Yeah, to me, music tech is almost about like big data or like fintech scene. Matt, you've been working with startups on a daily basis for a while now, and yeah, you've created a community of music tech startups in Berlin, and so I wonder, do you see any like a flagship or any specialized area that is like specifically, particularly developing in Europe that would be of interest for investors? And why is it quantum computing?
I think that like picking one of the startups now and saying like this is one of the greatest and that's gonna have like a great impact on the music industry is probably not right to do, because you never know what's going to happen. But I think what we are really strong in Europe, and stronger than anyone else in the world, is that we have these independent or publicly funded research institutions that doing a lot of research that is substantial for a lot of technology products that then get applied to music. So when we build better, or when we build bridges between like these research institutions and the companies, and giving these startups access to like these research findings, we can be way faster in innovating certain products than people in the US or somewhere else. I'm not saying that we should do competition like who is faster, but at the end of the day, the benefit of being in Europe is that we have IRCAM, we have Fraunhofer, we have like so many really like game-changing institutes that invented or researched stuff that had that changed the entire music industry in the past. So that's an advantage for the startups here in Europe to actually get access to all these resources. What is not good in Europe is, or what in general is not good in music tech, is the investor situation. And I can totally understand that, because there's so much music tech out there, and investors are hesitating to invest in music tech because it's a risky thing. You never know what's going to take off and if things going to work out or not. So if you invest in music tech, you either have to have a profound knowledge or have to have the the power to like get this product to a certain level that your investment pays off at the end of the day. So what we need is better public funding structures and less complicated public funding structures. And I can only speak for Germany and partly of like for Europe, but like I said it yesterday already, when you apply for funding, it's like art funding, you're to techie. If you apply for tech funding, you're to arty. So there's not a funding program in place that actually helps these innovative tech companies innovating a certain art space, be it like music, film, whatever it is. So we need to have these kind of like experimental, I don't know, funds that you can get in order to do something and figure out if it works out or not. And this can be like a public fund, this can be something like a private public fund, whatever it is, but we need more of that because the investor situation is not easy for music tech startups in general, and a lot of them stuck with like prototypes and MVPs, and then they run out of money.
Yeah, just to echo on what Matt just said, which is really relevant. When you look at the public funding at local levels, regional level, national level, and European level, usually, and Willie this morning he described the different schemes to help structural industry to grow or to develop. You have Horizon for research and tech, and you used to have Creative Europe mostly to help industry to deal with creation or circulation of works, which are used really instrumental, but they are separated. And the key thing, and this is also a way to echo what Turo just said and what you said, Matt, we have a unique opportunity from now and onwards to consider music tech not as something separated from music, but within the music ecosystem, and as an opportunity to expand and extend the music industry to something bigger, including research, which is really important, and it's an asset in Europe, including also technology companies like deep tech companies, to solve problems that are bigger than just what the industry can cope with. When you are talking about metadata in many conversations here, when we're talking about new way of expressions, so maybe the new immersive technology, it's beyond music as well. And so music can be a starter, could be a lab. And so the policymakers or the industry people need to understand that we have that strength. So if we are afraid of tech, we will not grab that opportunity of maybe being the lab for potential other stuff that can resonate outside of music, so create revenue, create opportunities, and we can define standards as well from here in Europe. And it might be our way. Cooperation is a thing, it's core to everything we do at Music Tech Europe, cooperation. But to do that, it's a pretty huge leap forward and change of mindset for everyone. I guess if you are here in this conference, you are already, I think, in. But there are many people to convince that innovation is part of the industry. EMI, I was EMI, it's called electronic music industry. It was innovation before everything. So we just need to remind that. Innovation is not anything disruptive, it can be creative, whatever.
I agree with you all, but there's like a shift in mindset that needs to happen. Like we have this, like if we ask for more funding, there's a lot of like lobbyism and like old structures of like old associations that have been in the European lobbying space for too long, and they're scared that we are now one to have something of a piece of their cake. Well, what we need to do is like we just need to make the cake a bit bigger and then benefit all from that. The same with like having knowledge transfer when there's like substantial decisions being made on a European policy level when it comes to copyright directive. We wouldn't have that discussion and disaster these days about AI and all that stuff if people would have listened to the tech people. Like if there wouldn't be such a fight between like the creative and music business people, music industry people and the tech people, if there would have been a common sense and we would have like worked together, things would have been easier these days. And so there needs to be an understanding that we all benefit from a future if we collaborate and not so much compete with each other, because that doesn't make any sense.
Beautiful. Shifting the discussion more on the startup side, like, would you have any comments on how startups are performing? I mean, in terms of like their work ethics or like workflows comparing to other regions? I mean, like European startup comparing to other regions, like for example, comparing to States or Silicon Valley.
Why me? So
Anybody?
I work for a quite significant startup. We are from Europe, basically. Yeah, it seems to be. One thing, startups are too many times judged on their capacity to raise funds. They should be judged also on their impact, by the way, and their partnerships and their capacity to really integrate into the value chain. That's another discussion. So if you read the tech magazines and newspaper, everything is revolve about fundraising. And we are judged, startups are judged with that criteria. I think in Europe we are quite good in one thing, it's cooperation, but it's a longer way. If you go in the Silicon Valley, even if it's not as attractive as it used to be out there, they love the disruption paradigm because they say if you have a box, which is a market, whether you go through the cooperation way and it's piece by piece and it's about gaining market share and the cost, marketing, sales is huge. Whether you go as an outlaw, so you break the rules and you go bigger potentially than the box. It's not really European vision of things here. So we are usually going through the cooperation way, which is the thing I like, and this is exactly what we do at Utopia, for instance. But it's longer, and this is all the more why we need some framework with the networks to help that cooperation, and also we need the policymakers to make that easy, and we need to change the mindset to make that more as a pathway to accelerate than just a constraint. Music Finland is one of the best examples I know in the industry out there because they also run acceleration program, but from a music industry perspective. And it has to be more about that. And then our European startups will perform more because our main problem is that Europe is big, but it's a fragmented market. When you're a startup from France, it's quite hard to translate your model, export to even Germany or Spain or Italy. And we need to change that. And in each country, in France, BPI, so the Banque Publique d'Investissement, is investing a lot of money to help startups now, even including music, to travel and develop abroad, but it's really new, we're just starting. So I think good sign, but we are not there yet. Compared to Asia, China, with Tencent and so on, and compared to US, we are still lagging behind in terms of acceleration potential.
And on the collaboration note, Tura, I was curious and take on and your experience with Nordics innovation. I know that you do a lot of like traveling with Frank from Norway. How would you talk about this this journey? How was it for you? Like what did it take to actually bring Nordics to outside?
Nordics is doing extremely strong in technology in general. There's a lot to do in the music. Of course, Finland is one of the world leaders in the gaming sector, and because of that success, now we have a lot of people with too much money, and they are also using it for investing into music industry and music technology right now, and this is a really good thing happening at the moment, and also not just in Finland, but in the Nordics in general. There's a really easy access to public funding, and we are collaborating a lot between Finland, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, in the tech sector, but also in music, and it often makes us look stronger because if you go to US, nobody cares if you're from Finland or Sweden. It's just the Nordics, and it's a really good brand for all of us.
Okay. To finish up, I'm really curious. You talked already a little bit about specific cases, but Anna or like anybody who would like to answer, like, do you have in mind any specific success stories or just interesting cases, exciting cases from the music tech Europe scene?
Startup investment?
I guess when it comes to investment, there's not a lot of success stories that we
No,
can
I mean,
talk about.
sorry, like startup in general, like projects that that you thought.
I mean,
were exciting.
if you look at the music industry today, like basically everything that changed the music industry came from Europe. So it's except Apple, but everything else, like if you look at the streaming idea, like look at the peer-to-peer idea that turned into Napster and streaming. So everything started basically in Europe, but it's not about Europe and the US. That's the same thing. Like, you know, like innovation doesn't stop at borders. So I think that there's like a big potential to do like more transnational cross-industry collaborations between Asia, the US, Africa, Europe. What was missing so far, and that's why we're doing Music Tech Europe, is like there was missing a point of contact. So if you are working in the music industry, in every country you have a music industry association. If you want to start a label, you can go there, you can ask questions, you get connections, you get knowledge, you get all that stuff. And if you want to go to another country, that association has friends in another country, so that helps you. So it's not easy, but it's easier than running a traditional music industry label or publisher than a music tech startup. So because there was no point of contact. The same when it comes to like the music tech companies that wanted to go to other countries. So Japan is now there, Chile was there from day one. So, so these are the only two outside of Europe that have started a network, an organized association that you can contact and can figure out what's going on in that country. And we need that in every single country on the planet to make it easier for innovation in the music business to evolve, to like to collaborate with people on other continents. So I think the success story of Europe can't be really like pinned down to one startup. It's more about like the general vibe that we have and that we actually manage to start organizing our industry in some sort of way, and that this hopefully helps the innovation space in music to flourish, starting from Europe.
And if I can add on that, like, I also think like one of the, I don't want to use the word diversity because it sounds cool to say it, but actually like what I think is the added value of what we are doing, what's happening is like, even us as organizations are very different models of organization, like we are very different, and each country has, of course, its own specificities in the way the innovators are working, the content creators are working, the institutions, the funding, the model. So this is normal, it's beautiful, and it's powerful if it's enriched and used as an asset. So I really think that we don't have to try to follow one simple model, one path that fits for all, because that's not going to be possible. And it's beautiful that it cannot be possible. So like connecting through Music Tech Europe can really not like uniform what we are doing, because it will never be like that. Like in Italy, we don't have the structure for unicorn startups to get like fundings, like that's never gonna happen. But maybe we have structures for innovators and creative minds and people that work in boutique festivals in beautiful locations in South Italy, for instance. And that's like beautiful like that. And the idea for Music Tech Europe is really to leverage on this diversity as well. So I don't think we should aim at a best model that fits for all.
Yeah. And maybe we should come up with other ways of investments, except like public funding and VC funding and angels. Maybe we should come up with another system, like for example, if we still have that black box money at the end of the year, let's put it into a fund and like pay for innovation in the music business, or pay
Content
for upcoming artists, or do something like that. Like if there's a kind of like a, how do you say that? Like, if it's a better connection between like the traditional music industry and these tech innovators, and they kind of like have a relationship that actually bounced in with each other, then I think things can go way faster and way more in a direction that it serves a need, instead of like just starting something out of a passion. So yeah.
Yeah, I will double on that, because you can always find some examples of unicorns or company who managed to become normal and not a startup anymore. They are just changing the landscape. Spotify, Deezer, Believe. I think our best answer to our question is the collective and the framework we're designing to enable some kind of a new way of doing innovation, collaborative innovation. It sounds super naive, super cheesy, but it's really all about that. The fact that SACEM are here and they are developing innovation collabs and they have a lab, this is Europe, and so on. The fact that what Turo started also at Tiesto back in the days and is doing now at Music in Finland, it's all about that. And then it creates value, so we are not only about cooperation for the sake of having a dance and sending flowers in the air. It's really about making business, but in another way, with cooperation at core. Even Utopia, which is a huge scale-up, it's all about the spirit we have in our DNA, cooperation. So it's not easy to convince investors when we are not putting some disruption keywords on your front page of your deck. But I'm all about that, and I think we are all about the same. And I think this is strong, and California also embodies that spirit. So I think we should keep on that, I guess, in that direction. And it's harder. It's harder than just go there and pretend that you're going to be a unicorn in 2 years by disrupting whoever. But it cannot work, basically. Because then it's about collateral damage, not about creating value, honestly.
Yeah, really inspiring final lines. I think we are out of time. Thank you so much. It's really exciting times ahead of us.
Thank you.
Thank you.